Hello, my name is Chris Zabilowicz and I am delighted to be 5RB's newest tenant.
Chris, welcome to 5RB. Now, you've got a little bit of history prior to joining 5RB, and I'd like to know a little bit more about it.
I studied my undergraduate degree in law at Worcester College at Oxford, and then I undertook a master's in law degree at the University of Pennsylvania in the United States. I sat bar exams and was admitted to New York and later California. I then spent 1 year as a judicial assistant to Mr. Justice Hogan at the Supreme Court of Ireland. I then did 2 years at a firm in LA, a trial law firm in Los Angeles. And then finally, I most recently and perhaps most unusually spent 6 months practicing as a litigator in the British Virgin Islands.
So you've been back and forth across the Atlantic.
I
sounds
have,
like
yes.
It's been really, really interesting. What were the particular highlights? What do you think you gained from this experience that you're going to carry with you?
One of the main highlights would be the opportunity from quite an early stage to get involved with trial preparation and courtroom advocacy.
You had the option to practice in the US, but you've chosen to make your career here. Can you explain why that is?
I did thoroughly enjoy practicing in the US, but even at the sort of trial law firm that I was at, there is just no equivalent to the sort of focused, narrow kind of work that barristers get instructed in this jurisdiction.
You're now on a path to practice as a media lawyer. What drew you in that direction?
Specifically, what drew me to media law was what was at stake for parties involved in media disputes. For claimants, it's become apparent that claims are often deeply personal.
Yes.
The nature of reputation and privacy, which are, of course, the rights or the interests that claimants are often seeking to protect in media disputes, are such that the claims will frequently cut to a claimant's core beliefs, their sense of self, their core values. On the other side, for defendants, the right at stake is the right to freedom of expression. And for the media in particular and journalists, that right could not be more important. So I think it's really fascinating to work at the intersection of those legitimate but competing interests.
Well, you've now done a full year's pupillage in chambers. What were the highlights?
I think as a general point, the pupillage process is fantastic because you get to be exposed to a variety of different advocacy styles. And one thing that 5RB does particularly well is they give you an opportunity in your third 3-month seat during pupillage to work for as many members of chambers as possible.
The other thing that you will have been exposed to, of course, is the nature of a barrister's chambers. What have you made of the way in which barristers operate in a chambers?
I think it is very different. And what is apparent is you're an individual within a chamber and you have to focus on how you're going to grow your practice as an individual. That's not to say 5RB isn't supportive. It's very unique in the professional world to be so independent so early on in your career.
And what are you most excited about at the thought now that you're going to be unleashed on a career at the bar?
I think one of the things I'm most excited about as I transition into full practice is being able to offer a new capability at 5RB, having qualified in the US. And I'm excited to be able to hopefully bring additional expertise to English defamation claims or other related claims that may have a US element. One procedure I've been looking into and discussing with clients already is an application called a 1782 application, a very interesting kind of procedural tool that I'm hoping to explore with clients here.
Thank you very much, Chris, and welcome aboard.